What's going on, guys? My name's Levi Fortner. I'm with LPT Realty and I run the Fortner Group. This video is all about the best neighborhoods to live in Pensacola, Florida. Now stay tuned to the very end because we're going to cover a couple surrounding areas that people also keep in mind and are very sought after, but are not technically in Pensacola. Okay, let's jump right into it. Welcome to Cordova Park. I'm currently in Dunwoody Park, which is in Cordova Park, just one of a few parks in this neighborhood. You have sidewalks everywhere, very family-friendly oriented. You have the coveted Cordova Elementary School, which is walking distance, and one of the main reasons a lot of people choose to raise their families in this neighborhood. And the price point is really good as well. You're looking at the mid to high 200s, all the way into the 4s and 5s. And it's sometimes hard to find homes in this neighborhood. It's well established. Most of this neighborhood was built between the 60s and 80s, so you kind of have a lot of ranch style homes. And you also have direct access to Cordova Mall, public supermarket, Lowe's, and the airport is really close by. Because of that, you can definitely hear a lot of airplanes flying over pretty frequently. I've actually had to start this video over a couple times because of that, but it's also something people get used to. And so I would definitely tell you to keep Cordova Park top of mind when you're looking at a good neighborhood to raise your family, young professional, or settling down in Florida retiring. All the above, this is definitely a great neighborhood, very sought after. Okay, welcome to North Hill. This is one charming neighborhood, and it has roughly 600 historic homes. The streets are lined with mature trees, beautiful architecture, Victorian homes galore, and this neighborhood is just rich with history, and it is preserved under the historic preservation, so it's going to keep that charm. You won't find any new construction here, but you will find giant Victorian homes, so if that's kind of your style, I would tell you to look here. It is directly near downtown, just north, and you've got parks everywhere, brick and cobblestone streets. You've got direct access to Palafox Street and lots of amenities. As like I said, a few parks, restaurants, etc. This is a really neat neighborhood. I would highly tell you to consider it and look no further than North Hill. Okay guys, so now we are in Aragon. And this is one of my favorite neighborhoods in all of Pensacola. Sometimes we'll bring my dog here and we'll walk at night. It's very well lit up. It's just super friendly. It is right downtown, and that's what makes this so coveted. I know we said that a lot of these neighborhoods have a close proximity to downtown, and that's what makes some of these the most sought after, but this is truly in the heart of Pensacola. You are just minutes away from Palafox Street. You have Aragon Cafe, a community garden, playgrounds, again, sidewalks. It's very bike friendly. A lot of people walking their dogs, and the price points in here are gonna range from about the 700s all the way up into the low to middle millions. And it's because of the location. This is truly, truly downtown Pensacola. This neighborhood was actually restored in the early 2000s and somewhat designed by an architect named Michelle McNeil. So there are restrictions in the style. It kind of has a southern charm to it, sort of a Charleston vibe. And that's what makes this neighborhood one of the top neighborhoods in all of Pensacola, Florida. Guys, okay, so I am in Bayview Park right now in the heart of East Hill, located along Texar Bayou, and that's what makes East Hill so desirable, is the proximity and location to downtown. Also the amenities, you know, beautiful parks like this. And this is one of the best parks in Pensacola, arguably, but there's also little parks scattered throughout the whole neighborhood. And you find that a lot in all of Pensacola, but especially East Hill specifically. Bayview Park itself, we've got a gym over here that's free. Again, you're located along the water. There's actually two dog parks. There's one that's just a regular fenced-in dog park, and there's also one that's on the water, so your dogs can get wet, play around, have a good time. Behind me here are some tennis courts, and there's mature, beautiful trees everywhere, including in this neighborhood. As you walk the streets, just has a mature charm and historic feel. This is actually a very historic neighborhood. In fact, Pensacola likes to argue that this is the oldest settlement in all of America, North America for that matter. Don Tristan DeLuna, we have found pieces of his settlement along the bay here that have been carbon dated to 1559, which, if that's true, that makes us older than Old St. Augustine. And so that's kind of a feud going on between Pensacola and Old St. Augustine. But yeah, we're the oldest for sure, no question about it. But I'm gonna talk a little bit more about East Hill, why it's so sought after. Again, the location is definitely the main reason, but you have such a strong sense of community here. There are sidewalks everywhere, parks, children playing, and access to coffee shops, shopping, pizza places, restaurants. We even have our own Publix, the East Hill Publix. And so that is what kind of has drove prices up, made this area so coveted. And as far as prices go, you're probably looking at the very low end, the mid threes to high threes. It's getting harder and harder to find that. Prices have gone up so much in the last few years. But as you get closer and closer to the water, to Texar Bayou and the bay, those prices can go up dramatically. Specifically, the waterfront homes can actually go over $1 million. In fact, we had a record sale last year for $4.7 million for a single home. But that's not always going to be the case. You're going to be looking sometimes in the 4s and 5s, 6s and 7s, and you've got a lot of historic houses, a lot of character, a lot of charm, but they are building some new construction homes here and there, and some people hate that, some people love that. You know, I can understand you want this neighborhood, you want the location, but you don't want an old home. A lot of them have been restored. Some people are still living here, and that's what makes this area so sought after. I'm a little biased myself. I do live in East Hill, but hands down, when we're helping people, this is definitely one of the #1 neighborhoods that is sought after. Welcome to East Hill. Okay, so now we're in Seville, and this is downtown. I mean, we're literally downtown. I'm standing in a park where there's constantly festivals, seafood festival, crawfish festival, jazz festival, and many more. Behind me on the corner there is Pensacola Bay Brewery. It's a pretty cool place, you gotta check it out. In front of me here is Hub Stacy's, which is a super cool local pub style, hamburgers, cheap food, very sought after. Definitely have to go there as well for good food at a good price. And this area is very eclectic. It's mixed residential and commercial, and it's actually really hard to find things for sale in here very often, to be completely honest. But I wanted to put it on this list because if you did, and if there was something available, it would be truly an experience unlike any other. You can Airbnb over here, or you could even have a law office, or et cetera, et cetera. It's very mixed residential use. You can kind of see that as I show you around. Price points in here vary a lot, but they're not cheap because of the location. Once again, that's become kind of a rule in this video, the location itself. But I would tell you that Seville is an awesome place to live. And if you want to feel like you're in Pensacola, this is it. All right, so I felt it was pertinent to include Beulah, which is more of an area than a neighborhood. Right now, I'm technically in Nature Trail, which is a neighborhood inside of Beulah. But the reason I wanted to include this area is because it has just grown so much in the last few years. And if you like the idea of new construction, well, this is the place for you. The growth has been tremendous, and that's partly due because of Navy Federal Credit Union, which is one of the largest employers in the state of Florida, let alone Pensacola. It's grown like crazy in the last few years. They've got their own on-site pizza shop, all kinds of amenities. They're actually kind of building a rec center as we speak. But that is what has made Beulah just explode. It used to be kind of rural, and now we've got a new Publix over here. Tons of new subdivisions with new construction starting in the low 3s, all the way into the 4s and 5s. But it's very competitive. You have builders like D.R. Horton, etc. And I would tell you to highly consider Beulah if you like the idea of new and affordable. All right, take care. Okay, so now I am in Belmont-Devillers, and this is another kind of, actually a little bit of an underappreciated area just west of downtown Pensacola. And I would say that this area is appreciating quickly. The home values are shooting up because they're restoring a lot of homes in this area. It is historic. A lot of these houses were built in the 40s and 50s, some in the 60s. And so you're seeing some new construction and you're seeing some of these renovated. It's kind of a mixed area, and so I would say the prices range from about the high 3s into the 4s and 5s, sometimes in the low 3s, but it's getting harder and harder to find, as is everything. And it's just a really neat area, historic feel, based off the Mississippi Blues is kind of the theme here. And you actually have Five Sisters Blues Cafe behind me. Delicious Southern food. Some of the best chicken and waffles in town. Definitely have to try that out. And you've got close access to the Maritime Blue Wahoo Stadium and Maritime Park. You've got a gym, you've got direct access to all kinds of amenities and things like that. And again, only minutes from Palafox Street. So I would say this is an underappreciated area that has tons of room for growth and kind of a lower to medium price range. So do not forget about Belmont-Devillers, one of the best places to live in Pensacola, Florida. All right, so now I am in Scenic Hills Country Club, and I'm actually walking along one of the golf course paths. That's what makes this neighborhood so unique, is that it's wrapped around a golf course, which is called the Scenic Hills Country Club. It is a public golf course. It has a little bar and a restaurant, and so if you enjoy golf, this is definitely the place for you. But it's also a beautiful neighborhood. It's very well established, and this one's located the north side of town. You're close to the I-10 interstate, and you've got all the amenities that you would need, which is a Publix. You've got Walmart, Target, Chipotle, Starbucks, First Watch, so plenty of things close by. And you're also directly close to the University of West Florida. So maybe you have some college kids, or maybe you're looking at going there. If that was the case, this would definitely be a great side of town and a well-established neighborhood that's coveted and sought after. The homes in here, they range from about the mid 300s up into the 4s and 5s, and you have kind of a varying style of home, but they're bigger houses and they're beautiful. And again, this is kind of behind me a little bit of what you could anticipate if you wanted to live here in the Scenic Hills Country Club. One of the best neighborhoods for sure. Okay guys, that about wraps up the top neighborhoods in Pensacola, Florida. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of more good ones. Contact a good realtor to help you find those, but I wanted to add 2 other locations that are very sought after, and people that are often looking in Pensacola, Florida, consider these 2 as well because they're not far away. They've got great school zones, and again, they're highly sought after. And that's going to be Pace and Gulf Breeze. Don't cross those off your list. If you're looking, definitely add those to your search. They're not far away. You've got access to all the amenities. Again, good school zones. You're still close to the beach, etc., etc. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and stay tuned until next time.